let's talk about this. When was the first time Steve Martin disappointed you? Now, for me, when I was a kid, and I loved The Jerk.
Dead Men
I
Don't Wear
loved The
Plaid.
Jerk. Well, for me, it was Pennies from Heaven. Because I was watching The Jerk so much, and I thought, oh, he made another movie. Let's watch it. And I'm like, where's the funny guy? But I should have realized, but how could you realize as such a young kid? But when you're much older and you rewatch his television specials from the 70s that I thought was the funniest thing ever, and it's downright almost unwatchable now, the writing was on the wall that Steve Martin is as good as the material that is given to him sometimes. Welcome to Season 3 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Clif and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest. Booze and Buddies will not be seen this week, so we may bring you the true meaning of Christmas.
Oh, I would strap in, folks. This is gonna be this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. We got a hot guest coming on the show here, and we got a couple of freaking. I don't know. I don't know how I would listen back to the episode. I listened back to the episode that our guest was on previously and realized that we all agreed to do this painfulness all at the same time. We all were like, "Yes, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be a great episode."
Yeah, it's talking Figgy Pondo at long last.
Yes. Figgy Pondo, here we fucking go.
So you're actually, what cracks me up about this too is I do listen to your guys' show, and the fact that you've brought this up like 2 more times since, because I was thinking like, well, maybe they'll forget and we don't have to do it, but you guys have brought it up like 3 times. I'm like, oh no, we're really going to do this.
No, this is definitely happening.
Definitely happening.
Yeah.
So we're back again. It's me, Marty. We got Cliff. We got Dylan J. Schlender back with us. And it's Christmas time, people.
Woo-hoo.
And so what better to pick than movies that have very little to do with Christmas? We have Mixed Nuts from 1994. Oh. Everybody forgot about that movie, didn't you? Oh, and Mazes and Monsters from 1982. Even though there's a scene where there's a calendar, it says 1983 on the wall at one point in the movie. And well, you know, Tom Hanks, he's good in anything. We'll say that much. So
that's true. He is good in anything. That's very true. So, and we also have a guest today.
Yes.
Who's the guest, Marty?
The return of Dylan J. Schlender.
Schlender.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Right on. Good to have you back, buddy.
And so this was your kind of crazy idea.
Indeed it was.
Okay. And we all smiled and said, oh, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching these movies, I'm thinking, especially Mixed Nuts, which I'll dive into. I have notes for days.
Yeah, I bet.
I was like, why is he having us watch this? I don't understand.
Uh-huh.
And then it all came very clear to me at a certain point in the film. But anyways, what should we start with today?
Well, if we could do just a smidge more set dressing, because I did not re-listen to
Dress it up.
I did not re-listen to our old episode, but I don't know if my theory behind why we should watch Mixed Nuts is because I have this Steve Martin theory where every couple years you find a new Steve Martin movie that came out in the 90s. It's like, wait a minute, I've read Steve Martin's IMDb. I've seen every Steve Martin movie, haven't I? But every couple of years, a new one is on the IMDb page that came out in like 94. And it's like, how did I never see this? Like, I never saw this. And Mixed Nuts was an interesting one because I always wanted to rent it when I was a kid because it had Steve Martin on the cover with the Santa hat. And I'm like, well, Steve Martin at Christmas has got to be hilarious, right? My parents wisely never let us rent it, and it just kind of fell off. And then it was just one of those movies, you know, when streaming became so ubiquitous. There's a few movies. I think we all have movies like this where you recognize the art and you're like, ooh, that was one I always wanted to rent, but I never did. And now I can watch it for free on streaming. And the movies that have that dubious distinction for me are Mixed Nuts and Fire in the Sky, the alien movie with the I know, right? But that was another one where the cover just always looks so cool, and I always want to watch it. Yeah, so that's how we got on Mixed Nuts. I have no idea why Mazes and Monsters. I think it's because I'm the only person on the internet who talks about it this much, and I figured I could rope you guys into it because we probably can't do it on Reels of Justice. That's just a go straight to jail, do not collect $200.
No way, that'll never happen on Ryan's watch. Never.
That's true. That's true.
I'd
He
love
put up
to
a
hear the
fight.
defense, though.
Yeah, I would like to defend it one day, maybe.
Especially
I
for
probably
the
won't
mixed
defend it a
nuts,
lot on
though.
this show. But
Prosecuting it's like shooting fucking fish in a barrel. That's you get the easy job.
that is the easy job. That's true.
Defending it though, I mean, if
it would be
depending
fun.
on the tact you took, you might even be able to pull it off because, I mean, it's mixed nuts is not. It's not terribly made. It's just it's perfect. No, it isn't. It's competently made. It's poorly written, and it's the jokes are awful, god awful. But it makes sense. It's competently shot, and it sounds good. It does make sense, is what I'm saying.
It's competently shot. I mean, talk about damning with faint praise.
It is too. It is too. It's in focus. You can hear
it as to why. I don't know if you know this, but Marty actually makes movies, so I'm going to trust his opinion on that. Oh,
right. But I'll say this: it reminds me, and I've brought this up before in the show. During the 80s, Hollywood and writers in particular, and Hollywood producing teams in particular, had a very, very fucking hard time getting a group of funny people together and making a funny movie. One that was really funny and really worked. If you think of Stir Crazy, right? It's almost lightning in a bottle. 48 Hours, almost lightning in a bottle, because there are very few other examples, but I can point to so many other bad examples. There's very few other good ones. But I can point to example after example of just bad fucking comedies. We've had a couple on this show, like Running Scared, oh God. I mean, they're all over the place. 1941, you defended Neighbors on Reels of Justice. You get these great comedians together and then you fucking waste the opportunity with just a terrible script, that just doesn't work and is just like, holy shit. Anyway. I guess we're doing this mixed nuts first, yeah?
All right, I think that's
Let's do it.
Because that's the Christmas one. Merry Christmas, everyone. It is the Christmas episode.
Remember TriStar, Marty? Remember when TriStar used to be in quality?
Remember Figgy Pondo. You got to say the whole thing.
Talking Figgy Pondo.
Actually renting this movie.
Yes!
And thinking, just like your favorite, Siskel and Ebert's review was saying, oh, this is just kind of mediocre. We expected so much more from it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch it again 31 years later. What is mixed nuts? I'm still trying to figure out that question. I got like 4 pages of notes here.
Mixed Nuts, 1994, PG-13, an hour and 37 minutes. Here's your log line. The events focus around a crisis hotline business on one crazy night during the Christmas holidays. This is directed by Nora Ephron, written with her, I believe, her sister Delia. Stars Steve Martin, Madeline Kahn, Robert Klein, and my God, so many others. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Storyline. Philip runs a crisis hotline with Catherine and Mrs. Munchnick. That's the easy part. Now it gets tricky. Stanley loves evicting people and he evicts Philip. Philip loves helping people and he is loved by Catherine. Catherine is loved by Louis, who loves writing songs. Chris loves dancing to songs and loves to wear large dresses. Gracie also loves to wear large dresses because she's pregnant. She loves the baby's father, Felix, who loves to paint. That just leaves Mrs. Munchnick, who hasn't been loved by anybody in a very long time.
That's it? Oh, my God.
It's so hard to figure out where to begin, so I guess I'll just start at the top of my notes here.
All right.
This is Liev Schreiber's first film.
First theatrical film, yes.
Yeah, and we talked about him last time with Big Night, so that's kind of funny that he's back again.
Yes, also, excellent connection.
Also, his other Scream co-star, even though, they don't have any scenes together, Parker Posey is briefly in this movie with Jon Stewart as the people on the bicycles who keep trying to move
I didn't catch that till the credits.
Roller skates.
I literally was watching the credits and I was like, holy shit, Parker Posey and Jon Stewart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't tell it's them because they're wearing like sunglasses and helmets and stuff. I mean, not that you would know who they were then anyway, right?
That's true.
So that's pretty interesting.
Okay, Rita Wilson. Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Was this on purpose?
No, I just... Who knows?
Pretty bizarre, right? That we had, one in one movie and one in the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start the film and you go, uh-oh, Steve Martin has color in his hair. This is never a good sign.
That's exactly what I thought, though. That's not even a joke. As soon as I saw that, I was like, no.
Now, of course, a broken clock is right twice a day. He has black hair in Little Shop of Horrors, and that one's good. But most of the time, when you see Steve Martin and his hair does not look like the regular Steve Martin, this is going to be weird. And for some reason, he has light brown hair in this film, and it's so goddamn distracting.
It is. It's so unnecessary, too. That's what's so crazy about it. Oh, man.
It's one of those first things you notice that things are a little off about this film. I mean, how many movies is Juliette Lewis in where she's pregnant? Like a half dozen?
Yeah, she's in the fucking the other one I was thinking of with her where she's pregnant is the Guns movie with
Way of the Gun.
Way of the Gun, yeah. Yeah.
So let me get into the heart of this here. This movie had serious production problems. Okay, it was made right before a strike. So you know how the quality of things made before strikes usually are. It's like, let's do a rush job. Let's hurry up and get everybody together and make something real quick. And so what we end up with is not only bad camera work, bad ADR, bad music. Oh my God, when they go to the veterinarian's office and the score starts barking and meowing and the music. Holy shit. Oh, I couldn't believe it. What else? And tone is important. It's as tonally confused as Nothing But Trouble, but it's kind of worse because it's such a rush job where everybody has this look on their face like I'm rethinking my decision to have made this film, but it's too late now and we just have to kind of get through it.
Which film in Nora Ephron's canon is this? Is this her first directorial?
It might be.
She already did Sleepless in Seattle before this.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. She did. Okay, yeah. This Is My Life was her first one, then Sleepless, and then Mixed Nuts. Well, okay,
so this was like she does cash in movie too because Sleepless was so big.
So it looks like she mainly does really well with like romance type stuff because she did this and Michael. Mm-hmm. Right after Michael was
the Angel movie.
Yeah, the Angel movie.
Oof.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, yeah. You're not kidding. That's like 80 grit sandpaper rough. That's fucking rough.
Been a minute since I said I'm putting that on the Reels Justice suggestion list. Though we have a running list, so that deserves a day in court.
Michael,
there was a show called Duster that just came on HBO a few months ago as of this recording.
Oh yeah.
And that was shot right before the most recent strike a few years ago. They came down here to Tucson, shot the pilot episode, and then sat on it for about 3 years. When everything started up again with the production of that show, they scrapped the entire pilot and reshot the whole thing in New Mexico, and then the whole show was promptly canceled. Because it's a rush job just to be a tax write-off is what the cynical part of me says. And so thinking back on this movie when I started doing the research into it and realizing, they were just hurry up and get it done. But the weird thing is it's based on a French film. And so whoever bought the movie and brought it over here, I don't think they ever intended it for it to end up like this. I think somebody thought that material was probably good and there was something worthwhile of making in there. And nobody foresaw Mixed Nuts coming. But anyways, Cliff, go ahead.
If you are, I mean, look, unions signal way in advance that strikes are coming. It's not like a strike is a surprise, right? So you end up,
they did hurry up and shoot this real quick.
So you end up, that's what happens is you're like, I need to shoot I have the money. I may not have the money after the strike. So I'm going to shoot my fucking film. Right. And we'll go, speed up the timeline and all that type of shit. And I definitely feel like this fucking thing really suffered from that. And I also think it suffered from being a remake of a French film. This is why I don't like the French, because they're not funny, and their shit's not funny, and they keep trying to infect us with it. It's god awful.
Well, I think what the real
I'm just
problem
kidding.
here is it's dark comedy plus slapstick. And unless I'm watching like Evil Dead 2 or something, this shit doesn't really mesh that
What
well.
would you call that? Dark slap?
Yeah, it's just
I
like,
like it.
what is going on? We're killing Gary Shandling and nobody cares. Just
Well,
dress
dude,
him
I
up
mean-
like a tree because he is Mr. Tannenbaum after all, and that's how we're going to dispose of the body. It's at that point where you go, wait a minute. I'm glad I didn't turn this off because this is getting really fucking weird.
That was weird. And getting back to like how it felt rushed too, it seemed like, and you would think this would be a good thing, but like everyone was at the same energy level. Like they were all kind of frantic. Like there was no like balancing act. Like everyone's like going up, like cranking it up for every scene. And it's like, that's what they used every time. It seems like if there were just like a handful of different scenes that they could have slowed down and maybe done a couple different takes with, they probably could have gotten something better.
Yeah.
Like
but now that you're mentioning about like
material, maybe.
Maybe, but it just, but now knowing about the strike and stuff, it makes sense. It does feel like, okay, we got it. Move on to the next thing. Move on to the next thing.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, and
instead of kind of perfecting it and running through it a few times or maybe tweaking it a bit, it's like, all right, that's good enough. Move on. And you know, it's got two things about comedies in general, which I think they're sort of like crutches when the stuff's not working. Is you end up just cranking the energy of it up, right, until it spirals. It gets more and more and more frenetic until it spirals and then falls apart. But it never really timing wise clicks or is funny in that way. I think there's a lot of comedies out there that do that. And you just go, Jesus, you know, I mean, you're doing a whole lot not get anything back. And that's what this does. I will say there are some funny parts, like Stephen Wright calling and telling he's going to kill himself, and her hanging, you know, and fucking then pow, and then and then he's like, oh, if a person's really upset, they always call back, and they just sit there and stare at the phone for like a minute. And
that was
fucking funny. I laughed my ass off at that shit. That was great.
It's setting the tone early that it's dark, but then you kind of forget that it's supposed to be dark. So when it becomes dark again, you're kind of shocked. But then if you think about it, oh yeah, the Stephen Wright joke.
Most of my favorite stuff is with Liv Schreiber. It's his first film, this one, so it's his film debut, and I think he's fucking hysterical. I especially love the dance number where he and Steve Martin end up dancing, and they've got that whole sequence. I just thought it was really, really funny.
It's like, so you dance with me? Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Because Steve Martin's trying to prove he's actually is good with people, too.
His whole family calling him Arnold before he runs out of the apartment. Fuck, Arnold. Like, why the fuck are they calling him Arnold? But whatever, it's funny.
They're dead naming him.
Yeah.
Well, no. They're saying he's Arnold Schwarzenegger because Lee Shriver is
buff,
like
right.
6'3". Lee Shriver's a big dude.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah,
he's almost as big as me. You know, so he is no one to tangle with. You know, but you could tango with him, and then that's pretty interesting too. That he like kind of gets that relationship with like that young Adam Sandler. Can you believe Adam Sandler's in this? Like that blew my mind. I was like, oh right,
he is. Yep. Everybody's in this fucking movie.
Adam Sandler. It's absurd.
It's that early Adam Sandler. It's that it's that Billy Madison Adam Sandler before he had kind of figured the instrument completely out, you know, the comedy instrument out. Like, yeah, he's doing that type of shit, you know, and he moved from Happy Gilmore on, he kind of moved a bit away from that and got into something a little more character driven, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, but this one is just almost like
it was fucking crazy.
Distilled early Sandler. It is very jarring to watch.
It is.
Yeah, rarely have I seen such talent in front of and behind the camera with virtually nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it's completely wasted. It's such amazing. A fucking shame. Yes.
So it's like a super group that could never have a hit song.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of talent, but they just could never gel together.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Yeah, Rob Reiner doesn't even get a lot of funny stuff to say as the vet. You think that would be very fertile territory, but it's really just to set up that he's going to deliver the baby at the, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's the other thing too. Like the movie doesn't
Right.
really do much to surprise you. Like everything's pretty telegraphed.
Oh yeah, it's everything's coming. Yeah, you could see that shit coming from a mile away. It's like
Yeah.
Except for Juliette Lewis killing Gary Shandling. I didn't expect that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true. That does
true.
come out
That's
of
the
left
one.
field.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
what?
one
What just
surprise.
happened?
But then they sit on it for like 20 minutes. Like the movie's still going, and then it comes back. It's like, oh yeah, Gary Shandling's
Oh yeah,
body's
the
in
way.
the
we should
middle
do
of
something about that. Yeah, that's
Dressing
right.
up the corpse.
Yeah, it's like just like, oh man, and what a great dodge too. It's like, oh, he was the strangler, so you're fine, you know. And it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
I feel like this is one of the precursors to the modern day gross out comedies, like your Pineapple Express or My Boss's Daughter, where people are getting injured and they're bleeding, and it's supposed to be funny.
Mm.
It reminds me more of that Mad World type of thing. Like it reminds me more of that, like, again, a huge ensemble kind of frenetic, kind of thing.
It just never takes the time to breathe, though. You know
No.
what I mean? It's the whole movie's just like a solid permanent marker line just going right over your face. You know, it's like it's just like it just has no breaks or anything. And it's
Right.
funny that it is only an hour 35 because it actually like kind of feels longer.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean that in a pejorative way. It's just that like.
No, it feels 145.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it
Yeah.
definitely feels like it's running on, and like they've ran out of stuff, and it's like, man,
especially
this
once
is still
Shandling
going. You know,
gets shot. Yeah, once Shandling gets shot, you're like, oh man, we still got some time here. What the fuck?
yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
man, like they are just out of ideas.
It has some of the most passionless kissing I've ever seen in a film. The people are like almost like rolling their heads off to the side to the cheek, and then the bathroom floor makeout, where you know how dirty that floor is. It's just disgusting. So it's like we got even as if the movie wasn't like as weird enough. You have that.
Yeah, we would know about dirty bathroom floors in films for sure.
Let's talk about this. When was the first time Steve Martin disappointed you? Now, for me, when I was a kid, and I loved The Jerk.
Dead Men
I
Don't Wear
loved The
Plaid.
Jerk. Well, for me, it was Pennies from Heaven, because I was watching The Jerk so much, and I thought, oh, he made another movie. Let's watch it. And I'm like, where's the funny guy? But I should have realized. But how could you realize as such a young kid? But when you're much older and you rewatch his television specials from the 70s, that I thought was the funniest thing ever, and it's downright almost unwatchable now. The writing was on the wall that Steve Martin is as good as the material that is given to him sometimes. But
Man,
you say Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid? Yeah.
Yeah, Dead Men Don't
I'd
Wear
rather be
Plaid.
watching either of those films than this one.
Oh God, no! I'd rather watch Mixed Nuts. I mean, they're all painful, but I think Mixed Nuts is
maybe I would too.
smoother.
So now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the positives about this movie. I mean, it does have a Dr. John song in the end credits, which ties back into The Last Waltz. It was a Mo Henry movie, The Negative Cutter. But let's see here. What is my main note? Oh, intentional fallacy. When you rewatch this movie 31 years after the fact, it changes in a way. Because when I watched it back in the 90s, it was just like, oh, I was expecting it to be something better. Didn't pay much attention to it. Forgot about it. Revisiting it, I realize now that this movie completely represents holiday depression in a nutshell. Due to its rush job and uncaring nature, this might be the greatest Christmas film of all time. I love to watch a great depressive movie on Christmas, and a lot of people do too. I think that's why It's a Wonderful Life is so popular. But Mixed Nuts, just to its core of the celluloid, the long, drawn out, not caring nature, it's kind of how you feel sometimes on a really bad holiday. So the movie might either drive you completely over the edge if you watch it on Christmas, or it might completely negate the depression just perfectly, because you're looking at it and going, that's how I fucking feel right now. I'm stuck in the elevator. I can't get away from these people.
What I'm hearing is we got to get Marty a date for Christmas,
right?
Or is it just passive Christmas filler, the type of movie that plays to an audience of no one in the kitchen as people wander in and out and look at the TV passively and a few
No,
years later
It's a
talk to each
Wonderful
other
Life.
and say, were we watching some Christmas movie with Adam Sandler playing a ukulele? What was that? What was that movie?
8 Crazy Nights.
But I
it
will
is
say,
interesting to like, because I suppose in theory you could have made this movie not around Christmas and it would land just as well. I think putting the patina of Christmas on it lets you get away with a few more
well, it has
jokes,
that
get away with
holiday
a few more
spirit
things.
to it. It really does. It's not sappy
Yeah.
like a lot of Christmas movies. I appreciate it that. It's just, look, sometimes this sucks. And it's like, yeah, sometimes it does suck. Not always.
Yeah, but then it all works out in
nice
the
to have
end.
a different
Yeah, I was going to
movie
say
like
it has a little sap. It does all work
that.
out
A
in
little,
the
a
end.
little.
See, you know
Still
what?
better than Christmas with the Cranks, though. That one's still the bottom of the heap.
Yo, that one, I know that. So, but one of the things I look for
Dan Aykroyd.
in Christmas movies too is like someone kind of has to have that like Scrooge moment, that like redemptive moment, like that Grinch moment, you know, where like they like the holiday spirit literally
Sure, has
moves
to
something.
infuse into them. Yes.
Yeah, you know,
when Tom becomes happy.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like to a point,
He's full
you
of
know,
the holiday spirit now.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot, but you
They
know, like
just kill
something like
Scrooge
that.
in this one, right?
Yeah, something like that would have been interesting to see. But like that's the thing. Like all the characters are pretty much the same as they were at the start of the movie at the end. And you know, you can argue maybe that's the point. Like people don't change and stuff like that. You know, but like it doesn't necessarily make for a compelling.
I guess if you're running a
Christmas
suicide
story,
prevention
you know?
hotline, you want everybody to kind of remain the same.
Well, that's
I mean,
true. Is that they're not dead? You know what I mean? So
I don't know if it'll ever be Christmas for me again until I see Juliette Lewis fall down and give birth in the snow. You know, this might be a tradition for me.
That's
now.
going to be the new Christmas moment. As soon as the turkey's done cooking, you pop on mixed nuts, and
if you blink, you'll miss Haley Joel Osment in his film debut as well.
Yep, he's the little kid at one point.
Talk about a person who didn't change. You recognize that head.
Dude, it's amazing that his face has stayed exactly the same.
Yep.
I mean, good for him, though.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it was kind of funny. Like when he grew up,
is.
it's like, well, he's not cute anymore. Is he still going to act? And he still gets some roles. So good for him.
He's a pretty good actor, too.
Yeah, I got nothing against him. I think he's pretty cool. I bet he'd like hanging out with us.
Sure.
I was just like, wow, I can't believe, is that him? And then you see the credits and it's like, yeah, it is.
The minute
Well,
I saw
enough about this, I'll let you all babble about it now.
The minute I saw Madeline Kahn get stuck in the elevator, I remembered like the whole movie came flooding back to me. I was like, oh, that's right. She gets stuck in the fucking elevator, and then that's right. Like it all. I don't know why but it was just like the whole memory. It was like unlock, boom, and I remember thinking knitted pajamas. Who the fuck wants knitted pajamas? Like maybe in Alaska you want knitted pajamas, but that sounds like the most like sweat inducing garment to wear to bed ever.
Like in LA, you know? It's well, they're in California. I don't know exactly.
Knitted pajamas.
Is that LA? I don't know. They're by a beach.
I think it feels like LA to me. Maybe San Francisco.
They shot it in New York to make it look like Los Angeles. This was part of the strike nonsense.
Weird. I mean, they did a good job. It looked like California, you know. So
one of my favorite lines is Madeline Kahn. Do go on. I believe you were discussing my cherry. That's one of my favorites.
She's always good. She's always
Madeline
good.
Kahn is great. Yeah. Actually, she was one of the more interesting characters, but they sideline her really hard at the end of the movie. You know, it's like,
hey, go off and have sex with this guy on the beach, and we'll talk to you in 25 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think having her around for the Gary Shandling cover up probably would have been a better use of her abilities, but here we are. Yeah, so
decisions were not this movie's strong point. So
no, it really wasn't, and you know, like you said, just by mentioning like that kind of rush job trying to get it in under the wire for the strike. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. Because if you think about it, like with the talent that was there and some of the young talent, it's always funny. It's like when we were talking about like Earth Girls Are Easy, you know, it's like Jim Carrey wasn't huge yet, you know, but it's funny watching it now, knowing how huge he would become. And it's kind of the same thing with like Adam Sandler and a couple of the other guys in there, you know, it's like all these people, like some of them were established and some of them were just getting established, and a lot of them would have the momentum carrying their career through. And it's just like, man, yeah, you got the talent here. We know what they're capable of or what they're going to be capable of too. It's not like any of these people fell off the face of the earth. And this is what you got out of them. You know, and I think you can fairly point that to the writer and director and saying like, yeah, you did not get a good performance out of these people. You know, it's like what people say about, you know, like George Lucas, you know, gets bad performances out of good actors. And maybe we could say the same thing about, what was her name? Nora,
yeah.
Nora Ephron.
Yeah.
All right, good. I almost said Zac Efron, but he didn't direct the movie. Now, one day he will direct a movie and we'll be on here talking about it. I'm not going to give it the episode a preemptive title name because then you guys will force me to do it like a year later. So,
so okay. So let's go through this cast just real quick because I think listeners, you need to understand why this is so disappointing. Steve
and
Martin,
why it works.
Steve Martin, Madeline Kahn, Robert Klein, Anthony LaPaglia, Juliette Lewis, Robert Reiner, Adam Sandler, Liv Schreiber, Rita Wilson, Parker Posey, Jon Stewart, let's see, Gary Shandling, Stephen Wright, Victor Garber, Haley Joel Osment. It's just it's unfucking believable.
Behind the camera. The cinematographer had been working since the 30s.
Yeah.
This is one of his last movies. And I'm like, well, maybe it was the editing that was bad. The editor cut Serpico. Everybody was just phoning this in.
Huh. Yeah, but they're all, hey, the check's still clear.
It's still clear.
Back to what Cliff was saying about the cast, though, too. And some of those were really bit parts, too. Not for nothing. You know what I mean?
True.
But, like, Rob Reiner, like, had a pretty substantive, it was a notch above a cameo. And he does not get to do much, which is very disappointing, you know? And then, like, Sandler really gets to kind of stretch his legs with his music. And we know he's capable of a little better, but for young Sandler, you know, it's like I don't think they were reaching particularly hard. I agree with you. I think Lee Schreiber is pretty strong.
He is. I thought he was really, really good in it for his first on camera. I think he dug into that part.
Now, if Steve Martin was the only guy acting like Steve Martin, if everyone else in the movie wasn't kind of matching him, he would have been fine. But I think the problem is like everybody was kind of being the same character. You know, they were all frenetic and frustrated and having like these weird problems and stuff. And Steve Martin can do that because he's so physical. Like I just think about, I wish I could remember what movie it was. It might have been like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where he's talking and he just grabs him and he just shakes it back and forth and then says the thing and then shakes it back and forth. You know, just the way he can just the way he moves and emotes is so great. And having everyone trying to do that in this movie was exhausting.
Yeah, that's again one of the I pointed out one of that dance routine with him and Schreiber is because at first he's very uncomfortable, and then suddenly as they're talking, he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I always hang out with the weird people and all that type of stuff." And the next thing you know, he's dipping him and they're doing this tango number and it's fucking hysterical. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, one of the better parts of the movie for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like
the holidays.
Yeah, I think Steve Martin, like because he is so funny, but he can also be a bit of a straight man if you let him. And they just they didn't really know which way they wanted to go with him. And now sometimes he could be the straight man to himself, like All of Me, like which is easily like his best movie. If we could take a moment to forget about when Steve Martin.
All of Me with Lily Tomlin, his best movie.
Oh yes, dude, that's so good. It is so funny, and his physicality in that movie.
I think you all just found your next Reels case.
Oh my! If you want to prosecute,
I know Cliff does not like that film.
He does not like all of it.
I would happily prosecute the shit out of that film.
No way. Okay, well then,
all right, bring it on, Dylan Schlender.
Right. Well, hold on a minute though. Like, is this one of those movies I fondly remember, but everyone else hates? Like, what's the Rotten Tomatoes here?
Wait a minute before I get myself into it.
Yeah, before I get myself into trouble.
Am I in a Mazers and Monsters situation?
Okay, no, we're good. 85% from critics, 67% from the audience. So
wow, so it's just me.
Well, okay. No, 67 is colorable. So there's an argument somewhere in there. This isn't axiomatic. So, all right, good. But that means you're taking the hard one now. So that's good.
Very true.
All right, good. We'll get a rematch. I can get revenge for editing the Cruisers. Though I'll be honest with you, like a lot of the movies we've done this year, I kind of forgot about. But Eddie of the Cruisers has actually really stuck with me. Like the more I think about it, the more I dig it. So so that's good.
There's definitely something to it. It has that.
You're right.
Thing to it, you know.
It's like got that little sticky quality where it pops into my head and I don't hate it. You know, it's like
exactly. Yeah, it's like we talked about, not a perfect movie by any stretch, but again, something about it.
Yeah, no, it has that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, this one I will probably end up this mixed nuts. I will probably end up bringing up or rewatching at some point because just it's funny in points, but it's also just a fucking train wrecks, and it's kind of fun to
fascinating.
it's
Yeah.
kind of fun to watch the train wreck. Nobody's getting hurt. It's just it's a train wreck with nothing but just the train. You know,
Well, you know what I like
fine.
about it from that point of view? Because you're
Mhm.
right. I think I agree with you. I could see watching it again at some point. But it's a train wreck that's not asking a lot from you as the viewer, too, which is
Exactly.
nice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get these really bad movies that are so didactic or something, and they're like, "Oh no, this is on you. You got to pay attention." This one, like, it almost doesn't care that people are watching.
Yeah,
You know, it feels
yeah.
like
Doesn't care at all.
it feels like
No.
everything's gonna happen anyway. You know, so
Yeah, it's like
you know,
watching.
for better or for ill.
Passive.
Yeah, it's like watching
Yeah.
like a children's play at an elementary school where it's like, look, I'm going to go get up and go pee, grab a 25-cent soda and a bag of popcorn, and I'll be back, and I won't have missed
What I
anything.
missed.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I'm
right?
really
So-
just worried about my daughter's part, anyways. So whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so that's one of the good things you can't say about this movie. It's like it doesn't ask a lot from you, and you probably won't regret watching it just because it's an interesting curio from the '90s, like
Yeah.
seeing people in their early stuff. And I would say Steve Martin is one of those actors where it's worth it to be a Steve Martin completionist. Like I think all of his movies that he's like has a leading role in, I should say.
Mhm.
At least for me, like if Steve Martin's leading in something, I'm gonna watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He recently did this
absolutely.
movie about bird watching with Owen Wilson and Jack Black.
Yeah.
It was called The Big Ear.
Yep.
He was so good in that, you know, and like, you know, like he's usually not the problem, which is another thing that makes Mixed Nuts notable is that he's kind of the problem, but it's not really his fault though. It's because they wanted everyone to be Steve Martin, and only Steve Martin could be Steve Martin. So. It's a weird movie.
It's one of those movies. It's like, did you see State and Maine?
No, I have not.
So State and Maine is just like this. Different subject matter, but I mean the same setup.
Mhm.
Bunch of fucking really great actors and actresses getting some really peppy dialogue, and it's just funny throughout. But they somehow also are able to pull off an actual story that works. And so by the end of the movie, you're much more of like, oh, that was actually pretty good. I kind of liked that. Whereas with this one, you come out at the end of it going, what the fuck? Oh, I guess. Okay. Steve.
I know. Yeah, and so it is one of those movies like it all works on paper, and then it's just the execution. And it's just
the execution.
It's just not there. Nothing particularly quotable either, too. You know, like it's not like a funny line that you'll be saying or anything. Like this one will.
Nuprin. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, it will just.
Why not make an Anison joke while you're at it? Like, we'll fucking just completely date the movie.
Drops of water on the hot skillet of your mind, as I like to say. So is this the part where we give it our star rating?
I wanted to say one other thing.
I don't want to rush.
No. I just wanted to say, much like you said, Dylan, it's a fun, silly, kind of harmless movie that honestly should be a hell of a lot funnier than it is. It's just the sum of its parts doesn't equal what the actual movie ended up being. You know what I mean? Just
it's anti-synergy.
So many
it's
quality,
lesser than the sum of its parts.
Yes, exactly. So many quality things in here. It's like, you used all titanium and you ended up with a fucking piece of shit. What's wrong with you? How did you do that? How did you do that, Nora?
Yeah, it seems like you would accidentally make a better movie with all this talent, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Of
Yeah,
course,
that's a good point.
Stanley Tannenbaum, who, by the way, Tannenbaum in German means Christmas tree, ends up being the Christmas tree. And then, of course, he's the Seaside Strangler. And, of course, there's a $250,000 reward. And, of course, Merry fucking Christmas. Let's get out of here. 2.5 stars.
Oh, that's generous. I'm surprised you went that high.
I begin. It's you watched Mixed Nuts not just for the movie, but for the lesson on how not to fuck the comedy up, and 3 to kind of wallow in the train. It's like watching The Room, kind of like wallow in the train wreck a little bit.
Oh, you're reading my notes.
Dylan,
I am going to. So my star ratings don't really mean much because it's not something I use a lot. But I would say this is. I don't want to say it's unwatchable. So I think about like Leonard Maltin's movie guide, right? Where bomb, it wasn't even a star, and then it would be like half star. So I'm going to give this 1.5 stars because I think you should watch it. But if you go into it with the understanding that it will let you down, you know, like if you go into it cold and you just see like the cast and everything, like, oh man, this is going to be great. Yeah. And it's just not. It's like you said, I think, and that's really what drags it down is like the potential. I mean, this had the potential. Everything about it had the potential for this to be like a 4-star movie. You know, like the concept is solid, the cast is solid, everything's solid, and to come up this short, you know. So I think my 1.5 stars mostly comes out of my respect for Steve Martin because I'm just such a big Steve Martin fan. So I'll watch anything with him, and the fact that I could see a scenario where I watch this again, I can't give it like a 1/2 star or a bomb or anything. So 1.5 is where I'm coming in, and maybe a little extra Christmas cheer in there too.
This is that Steve Martin that was trying to get rid of The Jerk. Like he was trying to shrug that off, and he wanted to move into Parenthood and LA Story and that type of stuff and do.
I thought he said he became a serious actor when he did All of Me. See, that's what we need to do on the show. I know tons about All of Me.
Bring it on. Let's do this. Anyway,
this could be great. I'm putting it on the notes.
So Mixed Nuts would be an excellent case on reels. I would love to hear both sides, but in a way, I feel like we kind of threw it all out there today.
I agree.
When you see a movie from the past that you haven't heard of, when it's got an all-star cast, it's probably going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty bad. Yeah. Yep.
You know, if I were ever to teach a class in film school, you could do a whole lesson plan on this movie alone, on just what not to do and how it all can just go ajar at any moment. You know, we talk about, I mentioned Nothing But Trouble earlier, and we talk about The Room and Troll 2 as being these bad films that are just jaw-droppingly like what happened. But I think people are sleeping on Mixed Nuts too much. I think it needs to re-enter the conversation of what the fuck movies from the past. It's so strange. It is so strange. This movie's been living rent-free in my head all week.
Nice.
I could write a whole piece of paper on it. It did do its job. It did do its job.
But to Marty's point, it has none of the excuses those other movies he mentioned did.
True.
Right?
No.
Like it doesn't have the language.
No, it got a $15 million fucking budget and so much fucking talent in this motherfucker. It wasn't even funny.
It had no roadblocks. That's what's so fascinating about it. Like there absolutely no, except for maybe being rushed by the strike. So I'll give it a little bit of credit for that because that's new information to me. But
and that helps make it like as weird as it is.
Yeah, man. But no, you're absolutely right, Marty. This should be in that conversation.
Yeah.
So what does that give it for a star review then?
I'm going to say this is easily one of the worst mainstream films ever made.
What?
Because it has so many weird. But hear me out. It's because it has so many bizarre, weird problems to it. Is why. So I give it kind of this mixed rating in a way. Now my real rating is 1/2 because I know it's bad. But as far as Christmas movies go, 5 stars.
Oh, geez, Marty does not like Christmas. That's what I'm taking away from this. Talking Figgy Pondo was at least a third your idea.
Yeah, and so see, 2.5 stars from Clif. It hits right in the middle. I laughingly have to say 1/2, of course, but no, you got to watch this, people. It's not streaming anywhere, I don't think. Find it, watch it, and don't turn it off an hour in because you have to get to the part where they shoot Gary Shandling because you're like, this is a Christmas movie. We watched The Violent Night and all the Violent Santa movies, and they're sappier than this thing. This movie's so cynical, I kind of love it. But I also know it's terrible. It's like I say, like The Room or Troll 2. I'm just like, I'm fascinated by it.
Maybe that's why I like Scrooge so much, Marty. But maybe it's that same thing. Now you see why I feel about Scrooge.
I hate Scrooge.
Oh my God.
We did
that's
that
what
on
it
Reels
is.
already, though. So
Yeah, we
sorry,
did
that was
that.
off
We
the
did
table.
that here
Holiday
too.
depression
Yeah.
in it. See, I'm watching these movies before Christmas. I'm watching them out of context.
Yeah.
I have to watch these on Christmas Day to see if the holiday season negates the grossness of the film.
See, now I'm glad I gave it 1.5 stars because I can give Scrooge a half star. So, like, I gave myself room to work. So, yeah. Because I would 100% take Mixed Nuts over Scrooge 10 times out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'd take Scrooged over Mixed Nuts any day of the week.
Well, good. You have it.
Yes,
I won't fight you for
I
it.
will. Good. Good.
Watch them both in a row. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that would be too much,
Ooh,
I think.
yeah.
You talk about your Wednesday Addams in the fucking place watching the Disney movies and that Addams Family movie because he's brainwashed. You're watching Scrooge and you're watching Mixed Nuts until you get it, until you understand it. Eat mixed nuts. Eat like they're crazy. They're nuts. They're all mixed together.
Oh my
But it's
god!
also my dad got killed by a truck of mixed nuts.
Shit.
So even the title's politically incorrect.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a title.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I came up with that concept a few episodes back where I was like, if you imagine that you're Wednesday and you're being forced into the Disney shed, in Addams Family Values, where they, at camp, they force her into the Disney shed. She has to watch Disney all day until she smiles. And I think, what movie was it, Marty? It was
Annie.
It was No, but what movie were we talking about though? I can't remember which one it was.
Oh, you were like Scream 3.
Scream 3 or He Never Died.
Yeah,
or He Never Died. Yeah, and I was like, I'd watch He Never Died over and over again. He's like, well, you're fucking insane. What?
I was like, I'll watch Scream because at least I'll get to see Jamie Kennedy's video every 90 minutes. Well, we do have some viewer mail. We don't usually do it in the middle, or we can do it after.
Now, let's do it now. Bring it up.
Okay, cool.
Break up here. Okay, this is an interesting one. They always are, but I think this one will fit to our guest a bit here. So a few weeks ago, we did an episode about Star Trek, the motion picture.
Hey.
Nice.
And James Hoy from Bravo for the B-Side, who's been a guest on the show, wrote in, and he had quite a bit to say about Star Trek, the motion picture.
Yes, he did.
And so I think Dylan's a Trek fan, right?
Big time, absolutely. I want to hear it. What does he got?
He might have something to say about this. So he says here, yep, you have twisted the cap on nearly limitless knowledge on this film. I loved the episode, and I feel like blasting you with non-essential brain space wasting information.
Hell yeah.
So his biggest issue with Star Trek the Motion Picture was all of the failed attempts to reignite the series. As early as 1973, they were working on Star Trek Phase 2, taking us on the further adventures of the Enterprise. Decker was supposed to be a support role, a trainee assigned to Kirk, more of a glorified yeoman Rand. Decker was supposed to be the new Chekhov, a link to the younger audience. The entire cast was brought in to reprise their roles. Pre-production got to the point of table reads, and then shifts in Paramount leadership structure shuttered the TV series. Roddenberry was hot about it. He was always hot about studio business, and was always in the background pushing the agenda of a new series. When Star Wars hit, Paramount saw the error in their judgment and felt they could capitalize on sci-fi and cinema. Roddenberry, series pilot, hot in hand, went to the heads and told them everything they needed to seed the movie was in the pilot and first season outline. Deckard became a disposable character. Gene figured, why make room for someone new if the entire cast will move forward with the film? The hope was that the movie would show enough interest by the fans to more easily sell the continued series. The movie was exactly as you said, 70s aesthetic, still entrenched in the 50s and 60s tried and true sci-fi format, but also trying to embrace the freedom from strict structure that Star Wars delivered. Since ILM was king of the new types of effects, Paramount had to scramble. You can see what happened by watching the film. Could have been better, but budget panic held things back. The big issue is that the director, Robert Wise, was an old-school sci-fi. The Day This Earth Stood Still, Andromeda Strain were his only real full-on films. His style throughout the movie is testament to the old film styles, long intros, self-indulgent, sweeping, slow sequences of transitions,
5
fast
fucking
action with
minutes.
no built-up to break the monotony of a slow-crawl drama. We got a real letter. It's almost done here.
It's awesome.
Roddenberry was also adamant on keeping things cerebral. Star Wars, well, let's be honest, you didn't have to think of a single damn thing. Everything just happened. You enjoyed the ride, and you went home. Roddenberry wanted people to think about and talk about Star Trek. All of this compounds the shortcomings of the film and why it was a critical failure. But by the time we hit Wrath of Khan, things changed. Empire Strikes Back was relentless action. Star Trek, in its old form, would never survive in the movies if it didn't switch things up. Harv, the director, knew and worked closely with Nimoy and Shatner, understood action and character relationships. Myself, Wrath of Khan is the first Star Trek movie, true one. And the first one was a long, belabored pilot that somehow just held on and did not vanish from the public. So that's the gist of his letter there. So it seems like he enjoys the movie, but maybe not as much as we did.
I mean, I get why people kind of overlook the first one, or pass by it very quickly. I think it has a lot of, true Star Trek buried in it, and it's kind of the launching point, right? I said it with Star Wars and Empire, right? Like Star Trek is kind of the promise of what's coming, and then Wrath of Khan and these others are sort of the fulfillment of the promise. But I would also say that it's that shift of science fiction type. And he points it out in his letter where he says, Roddenberry wants you to think, right? It's that Kubrick 2001 Arthur C. Clarke type of hard science fiction. It's not hard. I mean, it's still Star Trek, so it's not super hard science fiction, but going that way rather
it's not fantasy the way Star Wars
exactly
is,
it's not fantasy. It's not fantasy adventure, science fiction, fantasy adventure, which is where Star Wars goes. And suddenly it's two very different types of science fiction, in my opinion. Both of them, in my opinion, still extremely valid. I love them both, but it's like chocolate and vanilla, man. There's two very different flavors there.
I think one of the things we've been seeing with Star Trek the Motion Picture is with the rise of the internet and everything, it's an overcorrection, because there was a reason it was called the motionless picture. It wasn't terribly reviewed, mind you. It just wasn't as strongly reviewed as things like Star Wars or 2001: A Space Odyssey. It got very middling contemporary reviews. So I think what happened, though, is now you have this subset of the fandom that wants to come out making it, and they want to claim it as their own because no one else really has, and if they can prop it up,
right? So
they say, "Oh, actually, the motion picture is the best one. It's actually the most Star Trek," and it's actually not the most Star Trek-y movie. I hate when Trekkies say that. It's like it's not really that Star Trek-y. It's really just ripping off 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, I do like it. Don't get me wrong, but I think Wrath of Khan, even The Search for Spock, even especially Undiscovered Country, number 6, we'll skip over 4 and 5 for now.
Oh, don't you dare skip over 4.
Well, I'm not skipping over it just for the purposes of this conversation. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But those are very, very Star Trek-y and very, very much in the Roddenberry vein. And it's kind of interesting that you were able to get there by removing Roddenberry from the equation. That's why Wrath of Khan works so well. If people are more interested in Star Trek thoughts, the episode of Reels of Justice we did with Scott White, R.I.P. He has since passed. He was a great guy. You guys would have loved him. That's ROJ 139, The People versus Star Trek, the motion picture. We also do cover Wrath of Khan. We do Wrath of Khan versus Galaxy Quest with Jack Bennett.
Ooh.
I got to defend Wrath of Khan, and here's a little funny story for that too. I actually I engaged in email correspondence with the director, Nicholas Mayer, before the record to talk to him about it. I said, hey, I'll be doing this head to head. What do you think? And he goes, I think you're insane. It's like, but it sounds fun. And I actually sent him the episode and he really enjoyed it. So there's a little behind the scenes.
Wow. That's really
trivia
cool,
there. Yeah.
That's very cool.
No, he was very generous with his time, I guess, as far as answering a couple random emails, so it was really nice of him. But, I love all Star Trek. I think your friend there from the missive he sent you, he hit a lot of nails on the head, I think we have to be careful that we don't overcorrect for the motion picture. It's not the best one. No. It's not terrible. No.
But it's also, like you said, it's not terrible. It doesn't deserve the vitriol I think it's gotten over the years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better than
it's not a bad movie. It's just a slow movie.
Well, you know what it is too. It's the meme of the odd numbers, right? And it's because they are the weaker ones, to be fair. And I think 5 is just really what solidified the meme because it's just so bad, right? So 5, 3, and 1 they're weak, but they're not terrible. You know what I mean?
I think Search for Spock is fine.
I love Search for Spock. Actually, we did Search for Spock.
Christopher Lloyd as a Klingon. Give me more. Jesus Christ.
So we did search for Spock on Reels of Justice, and we found it guilty. And so I actually brought it up for our subsequent appeals of justice. Was I able to get that appealed? You'll have to tune in to find out.
I love it. I love the built-in. You are really just built-in, just absolutely just hammering the ads for your show.
Hey man, you got if I don't flog myself, who will?
All right, well, moving right along to Mazes and Monsters after that.
Hell yes, I've been waiting for a podcast to talk about this movie before I even knew what podcasts were.
I'm excited about this. Boy, I hadn't seen this one. When's the last time you guys saw this one?
So this was this is way back at I was homesick from school kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was like on TBS or like TNT or something. And it was literally just because back in the day, not that we're that old, but like when you're scrolling through the TV Guide channel and you only have a few minutes before whatever it is going to start, or you'll just miss too much of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like nothing's on, and this one, it scrolls up, it's like Mazes and Monsters, Tom Hanks, and I'm like, Tom Hanks do like a monster movie?
Like
whatever.
Hanks, let's do it.
Right? So I'm like, well, okay, this is probably like Price of Right's not on for another 2 hours, so boom, and I watched it, and I was. Well, I guess we'll get into it, It stuck with me. So that was the very first time I watched it. It had to have been, God, like 2002 or something, or 2001, maybe even the late 90s, but definitely over 20 years ago for sure.
I did the math. It's been 41 for me. It's been 41 years since I saw this movie.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't even been alive that long.
84 was when I saw this, and I watching it again made me. It was like unlocking the door to 1984 because I'm watching this going, Jesus, I remember things about school days all of a sudden that I didn't remember. And the first thing I want to start off with is fuck Rona Jaffe. That her fucking stupid ass book and her shitty ass movie made my fucking life miserable. And because my grandparents read the book and then saw the goddamn TV movie and then were on my ass about playing D&D. I mean, fucking to the point of like hiding my books, throwing my dice away,
oh my God,
burning my character sheets, calling it the devil, all this. My fucking religious shit. My grandparents were very religious. My grandfather tried to tell me a story about some 13-year-old kid who was playing D&D, and he one day he opened up his player's handbook and a dark cloud came out and he heard the devil's name. And I'm just like, this is the fucking I'm 9 and this is fucking dumb. This is dumb.
I could see that happening.
This is dumb. Come on. So
I'm not playing Mazes and Monsters. I'm playing D&D.
Rona, I get it.
Other game's a dangerous one.
You found something popular and you sensationalized it. And you made yourself a fucking mint off of it. Go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, she based it off of a story that was debunked.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my opening bit. Please.
No, that's it. That's good. That's good though, because because look, there is no one. So. Like a CrossFitter, a vegan, and a Dungeons and Dragons player went into a bar. How do you know? Because they all fucking told you. You know what I mean? Like there is no one who likes talking more about being bullied than old school D&D guys. Like they have war stories, and like you saddle up to them at the bar, and like they'll show you like their patch. They have the hat that serve through the satanic panic.
Oh yeah, we have the card. We have cards. We have a whole club.
Oh yeah, you got the challenge dice. You bring them out. No, I know, but what kills me about it, because I'm also a huge D&D nerd and fan, as you know, is the movie. As opposed to the novel. For the novel, from what I read, it does kind of lean into a bit more of the sensationalism. Mm-hmm. It has that open. So in the introduction to the book, there's an open letter from one of the students, and it's all fictionalized, of course. I mean, the book is fictionalized, obviously. It's sensationalized, but it's fictionalized. And it's about a guy, like one of the students goes, wrote an open letter, and he's like, "Oh, I used to play, and I spent like $100 on it, and it took up all my time." So like there's that element to it. But the actual movie itself, I don't think sensationalizes it as much as I don't want to call it a knee-jerk reaction. I don't want to be insensitive to your lived experience, but I just feel like the movie isn't. Yeah, I don't feel the movie slams D&D as much as if you were just to read some of the criticism.
Yeah, no, it
about this.
was just an extra thing to kind of pile on, like with the
It
the
was.
Donahue specials and all the other type of
Yeah, exactly. I think
things
it
that
got
were
caught
happening
in that
for sure.
maelstrom.
Yeah.
But if you watch the movie in a vacuum, I think they do a pretty good job of showing how Mazes and Monsters, with the D&D analog, is its own thing, and it's just an interesting framing device for the Tom Hanks's character's descent into madness, and not the actual cause of it.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what makes it really work. So that's what I'm excited to talk about. But yeah, we do have to do a lot of throat clearing because the zeitgeist that this came out in was very anti-Dungeons and Dragons, and like right at the cutting edge of it too, because then the Satanic Panic stuff, that's later 80s too. So
and then you get
so like it almost got like a second wind
and so on.
Yeah.
So Cliff, what is this good old fashioned like 50s style exploitation movie of the week?
You got it.
Mazes and Monsters, our first made for TV movie, I believe.
I doubt we'll do a lot of made for TV movies, but this one.
Oh, keep coming me back. I've got a few. I'll get a few.
So Mazes and Monsters, TV movie, 1982, rated PG, 1 hour 41 minutes. Here's your log line. When a group of friends decide to take their role-playing gaming to another level, one of their own's mental instability begins to take it too far for him. And this is directed by Stephen Hilliard Stern, written by Tom Lazarus, Rona Jaffe, stars Tom Hanks, Wendy Cruz, and Dave Wasaki. And Chris Makepeace. Let's see. Storyline. Despite their personality differences, Kate, JJ, Daniel, and Robbie are close college friends, bound together by their pleasure in playing a game called Mazes and Monsters. In order to keep it interesting, they decide to take the game from the board into a real-life setting. But soon the line between reality and fantasy becomes difficult to differentiate, and what started out as just a game soon becomes a nightmare.
Actually, that one's better than the Mixed Nuts one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. Yeah. So,
we're going to go to the cave, and then we're going to go back to the cave, and then we're going to go to the cave again, and then we're going to go away from the cave again, and then rock climbing, Joel, rock climbing. And it's worse than Lost Continent because it's in the dark and you can't see them climbing through the rocks. Now, I like the first half hour, but then you have to watch the rest of the movie.
I like the first I like probably the strongest parts for me are the beginning and the end.
Agreed.
The hour in the middle is rough.
A bit of a muddy middle because of the established time jump, but then you catch up with the time jump in the middle of the movie. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't even know if you'd call that a technique, or I'm not a big fan of that structure where like
half flashback.
Like just kind of start it where the story starts. I mean, because there's nothing to be gained from seeing that at the beginning. You know what I mean? And then the new information comes after they catch up to it. So there's new information leading up to that reveal anyway.
Like, oh, the movie lapped itself. No.
yeah, pretty much, you know. So I don't think that was particularly needed, you know.
So my question about that beginning was that entire cab ride 6 months earlier? Because they don't say 6 months earlier until the cab pulls up at the end.
Don't like it. I hate it.
He's been in a cab for 6 months.
So I got a little bit here. Okay, so one. Okay, so we got the rich kid who is really smart and unhappy, and his mom ignores him. Check. Okay, 2, we have the girl from the broken home, also smart, and her own girl, gonna be a writer, hasn't really lived yet, and doesn't need a man to be happy. Check. Now, good-looking rich kid who is tired of his parents pushing him into being an adult. He wants to be creative and make games, but he needs to get serious. He can make games as a hobby. Check. And finally,
fair point, by the way.
and finally, the kid whose parents hate each other, enough said, and he can't stand them, and his older brother ran away. Check. So you've already kind of formed it's almost like D&D. The movie forms its fucking party and then moves forward. It's the weirdest thing. I noticed it. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. This movie's kind of shitting on D&D while kind of weirdly playing D&D.
That's my point. I don't think the movie's shitting on D&D as much as people say it is.
It's basically what it's trying to say, though, is that if you try to play D&D in real life and you got a fucking psychosis, you may go crazy.
If you go LARPing, you will go crazy.
So LARPing will drive you crazy. This is true. no one should LARP. All right,
Yeah, you do.
LARPing is the vaping of nerd activities.
Look at any Ren Fair, and he's right. Go to any
I know.
Ren festival.
And actually, what's interesting too is that they did dive into LARPing, which was still pretty new in the early '80s. I mean,
I don't remember anybody. Look, I played D&D from the time I was about. I picked my first box setup when I was 8 or 9. It really early and played. I mean, Jesus, into my. I quit probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. But the point being, I don't remember LARPing until literally the late 90s, early 2000s. Like,
that's when I noticed it very heavy as well.
It's very, and it comes from what I remember. It comes from Vampire, the role playing game, because Vampire Masquerade has very little dice rolling, and it's almost all role playing. So people basically said, well, why don't we just play this live? Like, and get away from that because and it became, well, let's go to the park and do it because we have 10 people instead of doing it at a house. And that next thing you know, you've got LARPing going, right? Well, and then you've also got Ren Fair, which is, like kind of like LARPing, I guess, but it's not a game.
And living theater. I mean, I know, but there's all sorts of things.
True. But I mean, from my perspective of being inside the game world and playing, I don't fucking remember anybody doing any kind of, foam sword, this type of shit where they're all dressing up with lanterns and costumes and stuff until way later. So, it's a pretty crazy jump that they're immediately like, let's go to the fucking caverns and fucking run around with our lanterns on, I
was going to kill myself in those caverns, but now you're the depressed one.
This is great.
Yeah, they do kind of sweep that under the rug pretty quickly. Yeah. It's like, they were still your friends when you were like nothing materially changed for you, So,
well, and it's
no, but my point is
that
like,
is that just so that he's the red herring for Tom Hanks's craziness? Where they're like,
absolutely.
It's the suicide kid that's going to kill himself and get obsessed with the game, but it ends up being.
And he's the one that the newscaster's talking about at the beginning. Right. I mean, that's probably what they were going for. But so anyway, I just want to push back a bit again, because I don't think it's dunking on D&D per se. And here's why. Because this exact story would work with any obsession Tom Hanks's character would have. You could make a cohesive story around it. You can make it like if he got obsessed with like a fantasy novel, or if he was playing a video game too much, or probably not like gambling, right? You need a bit of that fantasy element to explain some of his psychosis and hallucination. You know what I mean? But I don't think this is a one-to-one criticism of D&D. I just think that was the most interesting way to portray his descent into madness. So I'm sticking to that point.
I think this movie is a cocaine allegory.
It could be. No, one of the things that always fascinated me about this movie and why I like talking about it so much is because you have a very interesting character in Tom Hanks's missing brother, who we never find through the movie, which I think is really interesting.
He's the great.
His name is Hall, and he's a very interesting static character, and it's very redolent. And I get made fun of a lot of when I say this, but I mean it sincerely. Mazes and Monsters is basically a Tennessee Williams play when you think about it.
What?
Absolutely. Now, hear me out. You have a static character that's caused the main character to basically go crazy, right? That's just like that. Oh crap! I just had the name for it and I lost it. It was called like The Rose of something or other. It was a Tennessee Williams novel that had to deal with like her husband. Then you have like The Glass Menagerie, which has like the dead father as
like
the static
structurally,
character.
they're trying to rip that off, kind of.
Yeah, well, no, it's not ripping off. I think it's a valid structure that Tennessee Williams just happens to typify very well. So that was one of the things that always fascinated me about this, is that Tom Hanks's character is dealing with so much trauma. He has got this PTSD from his brother running away, which obviously caused the relationship to deteriorate with his parents. I mean, this is kind of like Ordinary People. And Ordinary People would have been much stronger.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Ordinary People reference.
Ordinary People would have been much stronger if we didn't have the flashbacks to the brother and him on the boat. I think if they just kept they talked about the older brother like they do in Mazes and Monsters. I don't count his hallucinations where the guy's at the end of the tunnel of the light saying he's the Great Hall. That's just part of him being crazy. Hall is functionally a static character in this, but so I think what this movie's doing is a very, very interesting character study into Tom Hanks, and the fact that we get to see him decline so gradually it's so sad in a way. And then, for spoilers here, I'm sure they're at there, for a made-for-TV movie that came out in 82, right? At the end, where he hasn't recovered and he has fully retreated into this dream world. And what does his mom say? She said, "It's not your fault. I don't blame you." That's her saying it's not Mazes and Monsters' fault. He had unresolved trauma that we weren't able to deal with. And I think that's what's so fascinating about this movie. And that's one of the reasons I like talking about it so much, because if you just read what people say online, like, oh, it's anti-D&D propaganda. And it's like, there's like a smidge of that, but there's so much more.
Yes and no. Okay. So here's what I'll say. I think also what you have to realize is this is also when you talk about film, sometimes when the film itself is a part of culture or pop culture or of a moment, and that moment passes, then you really lose the reference of it, right? And like, this movie was out when D&D was starting to kind of sweep the country. Kids were playing it. Parents didn't understand what the hell it was. It had a lot of demons and vampire references and swords and talks about violence and all this shit. And here comes this movie, which is basically about this kid who plays it and goes insane. Now, I'm not saying the movie says he went insane because of D&D, but the public, that's what they got from it. That's what they took from it. And and it was an exploitation movie. So it just, again, led to this compounded thing of all these specials about, is D&D demonic? The great, and again, you get the great satanic panic right after this. Then you get
say that 5 times fast.
You get the right. It's like a freedom from strict structure from our mail earlier. Like, say that fast 5 times. But you get that. Then you get rap music and the PMRC, and that freak out happens there. And so it's a whole line of shit, right? So while I wouldn't necessarily say that it's totally taking D&D down, I think it's riding on the panic around D&D at the time and using it to tell its story. And it's definitely not helping the overall message of D&D at the time, which is that D&D is not good for kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's tapping into what's popular.
But you're right. It's not like totally just like fucking D&D ruined this kid's life.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's important to take away. And a big reason is because we are past that moment, and I think that's what I'm always very iffy.
I think what to take away from it is that Rona Jaffe sucks. That's what I think.
Obviously on Reels of Justice, we have to look at movies from all sorts of different angles, and we always talk about like movies of their time, beyond their time, ahead of their time,
sure,
things like that. And one of the things I always point out is the reason we call World War I is because World War II happened. So I do think you can historically look at events that would come after to inform how you look at events that happened before. I think that's valid. So I think looking at movies now, looking at stories that have to deal with like mental health and descent into madness, I think this one actually is pretty good for considering the year it came out, right? For being an 82 movie.
I will say I do like the way it handles his psychosis, I guess I guess you could say schizophrenia, basically.
I think it's psychosis because he's hallucinating.
Okay,
it would technically be it.
I'd have to look it up. It feels like he's switching between personalities. Like he is his character, and then he is himself. Especially while he's in New York. Like at one point, he stabs that dude, and then he runs away, and he sees himself and realizes who he is, and then he calls to go get help. But by the time he makes it, trying to make it to where she told him to meet him, he's back into his illusions or his character again. I don't know. I'm not a fucking psychiatrist, but it's definitely one of the two. But I do like the way they handle it. I mean, it's not like he like there's a trigger for it, right? Like there's not it's not like he sees something and then suddenly is somebody else, right? Like
he's a good actor.
A lot of these bad movies are, and that's true too. He's a really good actor. Oh
my God! Because Tom Hanks has not had nice things to say about this.
But she's 9th level. I'm 9th level. He's 9th level. How awesome is that? Everybody's fucking 9th level.
Guys, I got to study. I can't.
We need you.
I mean, that's one of the things that does kind of crack me up too about like D&D. It's like, oh, I'm 9th level. It's like you could just make your character 9th level. You know what I mean? It's like it's not really you could do that. Like he jumps into the pit and dies.
Yeah,
they can retcon that if they really wanted to. You know, it's like the
the
rules aren't that strict.
Yeah, but as a DM, I would never allow that.
Well, it would depend on the circumstances, but like. Yeah, I mean, look, there are people who take it very seriously.
True.
Like there are,
See, if they had just finished that game, none of this would have happened. You see, they abandoned the game in the middle, and that messed up Tom Hanks's mind.
No, I think Tom Hanks had all the other pressures and stuff going on in his life as well, and like the relationship, and so like I said, like there's more than meets the eye to this movie, and that's really just if you get one takeaway. So you're one listener who loves Star Trek. There, if your one takeaway from this is that you need to watch this and make up your own mind, and not just buy in.
Well, for every movie,
to the knee-jerk criticism, you know what I mean? Like there is some value.
No, buy in
this movie.
Buy in. 50 million Elvis fans are right. Okay, they're right.
Well, it is neat looking at this movie years later, and it's away from all its original context. And so a new viewer would watch it now, and they wouldn't see any propaganda. They just see a story of a person who was kind of on the edge, and he kind of flipped out a little bit because too much pressure and stuff. It's weird how it transgressed over the years from an exploitation piece to where people would see the commercial, probably wouldn't even watch the movie and go, you see what it's doing to kids, and not even watch the movie, of course. And now none of that really exists, and so it's just about Tom Hanks losing his mind.
Yeah, and the fact that they were able
a holy man, there's worse people you could believe you are for the rest of your life. That's pretty serene, actually.
Yeah, actually, that's the other thing too. Like he does seem kind of at peace, at the end. Like, man, I just love the ending in that movie because it's like a bit of a bummer, but like kind of real at the same time. I like that.
I thought he died. I didn't remember the movie right.
I hate the narration. I hate the narration at the end, but I do like the way that they wrapped it up.
I thought that was a strong choice.
It feels like someone explained to Rona how D&D works, but never like sat her down and played a game with her. Because it's very like it's sort of close to art role playing, but it's not. I've never seen a role playing game like that. It's like they're painting their minis, but they're not really minis. They're like little paper little figure things. Guys. So it's like somebody was like, and you paint these little miniature things. And she's like, okay, so we paint these little minis. It must be paper. Right? I know it's different, but and of course they changed it probably to stay away from any kind of copyright infringement and so on. But it's very weird to
budget concerns, so you can just cut a piece of cardboard.
I wonder what Gary Gygax thought of this film.
Yeah,
but my question is,
I bet you he did not even watch it.
How the fuck you gonna play by candlelight? This is a text-based game. You need a well-lit room. There's a lot of reading. I wouldn't be able to even see the paper in front of me.
Yeah, again,
you gotta make it look moody because that's how they play it, right?
Yeah, it's because again, I never actually played it. I just have heard people tell me about it. Here's another thing I'll say: the goddamn soundtrack. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that makes me want to start like hurting myself again. It was awful. It was awful.
It's appropriate for the movie. You feel his descent into madness.
It was so bad. Gary Gygax, by the way, was critical of the Mazes and Monsters novel. He said it portrayed a negative stereotype of the community and misunderstandings about the game and the culture. So he didn't like it.
I'm reading an interview he did with IGN as well. IGN said, how do you feel about being vilified by Tom Hanks? A reference to the really bad, some editorializing there, 80s made-for-TV movie Mazes and Monsters. Gary says, well, I wish they could have gotten a slightly better actor if they're going to do that.
Oof.
But that horrible Rona Jaffe book was clearly done to be potboiler, and this film was meant to be a potboiler, and they both ended up going into obscurity. In the long run, it didn't hurt. There's no such thing as bad publicity, and kind of goes on in that vein.
Sure. Yeah, nobody expected anybody to be watching this movie now. This movie is like a soap opera.
This was for television.
Yeah, movies of the week, they weren't supposed to have a shelf life, but then you get Tom Hanks making one of his only slumming movies before he hit it big, and the movie just lives forever. His other movie being He Knows You're Alone, I think. It's just like a slasher movie from 80,
right.
and he's barely in. Right. But then much like Tom Cruise, once he hit it big, there was no more losing it or Mazes and Monsters. You're doing splash and risky business. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's what happened with Mazes and Monsters too. Like Tom Hanks got big, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we have this. We can
It's never
show it
going
as much
away
as we
now.
want." Yeah,
He did
So
do
who
Bachelor
owns
Party,
this
I guess.
film?
Good
I
question.
don't know who. Well, Film Rise owns the
Rise,
distribution to the VHS copy that is floating around. Whenever you click it on
No.
streaming, someone gets a ding at Film Rise. They get up and they pop in the VHS, and that's actually what you're watching.
No, it's a 12th generation 2-inch tape. This is fucking.
I'm lost in the cave.
So Tom helps his brother escape his god awful parents, and his parents are. His mom's a day drinker, for fuck's sake, and so he helps his brother escape his god awful parents, and he somehow feels guilty about that. Like what he should be doing is planning his own escape. Is what he should be doing. Like,
well, he kind of mentions that. He says that his brother said he was going to come back for him.
Well,
and he never did.
He never did. So his brother's a dick, and he should be. That's what he should say. It's like, man, my brother said he was going to do that. He's an asshole, and then move on with his fucking life. Not going
maybe he thought something happened about it. No, but see, you're being too flippant, Cliff. Which is something I thought I'd never say. No, because he does say he said that his brother was going to come back for him. Obviously, he was young at the time. You know, when you're a kid, these things are confusing and difficult to process. And like he did have to eventually come to grips with that. His brother was gone, and he internalized that trauma and was never able to express it in a healthy manner, thus leading to his psychosis. That's what I'm saying. Like, this movie has layers. It's so much better than people will say.
No,
that's because of the acting, I think.
Yes.
No.
So when his brother does come back,
the structure is there,
and his brother's like, "You're a holy man now," and he's like, "Yes, and then Mazes and Monsters Part 2.
Hey, they should do Mazes and Monsters 2. The Hall Returns. It'd be like Eddie Lives,
I'm telling you. What was his character's name? Bajian, or what was his holy man character?
Oh, the cleric name that he had?
I have no idea.
That escapes me
it would
right
be
now. Yeah.
That name lives, like Eddie Lives.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious. Does her rebuke of the double bed living together thing indicate that they're not doing it? Or they
were doing it.
Okay,
and then he chooses to reject that as
off. Right? Yeah, I got you. Okay, got you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I should hope they're doing it. She was taking a shower in his
right?
Place. Does that get more intimate than someone taking a shower? I don't know.
Well, the most frightening monster is the one that exists in our own minds, Dylan. So.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Yeah, you're gonna love that. Everybody.
But I think they had a very physical relationship that they just weren't going to take to the next level, and that was that. And again, that's not her fault. That. But again, that was like another straw on the camel's back.
Well,
drip.
The body's. They break up. The body's not even cold. Now she's dating the blonde in the same group party. I've seen more play groups fall apart over stuff like that. I'm telling you.
That's the most realistic part of the movie.
You don't date within the group. You don't date within the D&D circle. That's the surest way to just.
That sounds like good advice.
Absolutely, have your adventure fall apart.
So everybody outside of the 4 game players in the movie, they're literal NPCs. As people show up, have one line of dialogue, and they go back to doing what they're doing. It's like, wow, a movie about role-playing game has literal non-player characters in it. That's pretty amazing.
What was with the kid? Why did the kid have so many different hats too? It's like
I don't know, but he's the one that needed to call the fucking Mixed Nuts suicide hotline. Jesus Christ.
See, both these movies have to do with mental health, right?
Seriously, which comes around the holidays. So
exactly, it's all kind of
one to watch on
Figgy
Christmas.
Pondo,
because you watch it and you go, "Thank you, Talking Figgy Pondo," because I'm watching Mazes and Monsters on Christmas, and I'm not nearly as depressed as the people in this movie.
That's right. No, not even fucking close. Tom Hanks
I'm even watching the Blu-ray so I can see the cave.
Dear Diary. I was LARPing last weekend in some caves. Saw a green monster and had to kill it. Now I don't want to have sex with my girlfriend. But I have to go to a Halloween party. I'm going to go as my character. I don't care what people think. Talk later.
That was an episode of Big Bang Theory, right? Are you fighting the Gorn or something?
Hey, you know what, too? Everyone talks about like D&D panic. Now let's look at the flip side of that coin. Over celebration with things like Big Bang Theory. Is that what you want? I say let's go back to being vilified.
I mean, I did enjoy D&D a lot more when people thought it was stupid and only a few people played. We haven't even talked about the fact that the mayor of Amity is in this fucking movie, and he's walking around saying shit like Maces and Monsters is a far out game. And he's asking if people are dopers. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, this movie is fucking old.
Hey, though, they were right. I mean, do we really like the prevalence of dope? All of our cities smell like skunk now. It's pretty terrible.
Oh, it's fine. It's a lovely smell.
I think they were ahead of their time.
Well, what he was right about is that kid did need some help, you know.
That's true too. The kids shouldn't have lied to the cops either. It's like, you guys,
they should just
like, you are not gonna get in trouble. You will get in trouble if Tom Hanks shows up dead, though. That's for
but
sure.
he was the strangler. It's okay.
Yeah. So Tom Hanks was the strangler, so they get off the hook. Good night, everybody. That was Talking Figgy Pondo. We won't top that.
No, I mean, she doesn't want to tell the cops because she's got to write a best fucking seller about this and sell 1 million fucking copies like her hero, Rona Jaffe.
Ooh,
that's right.
I like it.
We're all going to be famous at the end.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
This was honestly a lot more fun to watch than the first time, only because of its kind of like novelty and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I do think it had a detrimental effect on gamers and role playing for a while. I think it was part of that sort of, again, that wave. I don't know how guilty it is of it, but I think
it might have made more people play the game. Actually,
quite possible.
Well, that's what Gary Gygax said. He said he didn't think it thought it hurt, and there's no such thing as bad publicity.
But to your point, there's nothing coming out of this book. They lied to me.
To your point, though, Cliff, it's like how many grains of sand before you have a pile of sand, right?
Yeah,
so this was just like
another one. It's just part of that one water
yes.
in the wall of wave, right? One drop
yes,
of water
exactly.
in the wall of the wave. So, however, having said all that, and even with Tom Hanks in this movie, this is a bullshit movie. I don't like this movie. I did enjoy parts of it. I don't like Chris Makepeace. I never have. I think it's like
not even in The Last Chase with the $6 million man.
It's like people who don't think gingers have souls. Something about that dude. I don't know. I just can't do it. 1 star for me.
1 star. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a TV movie, so how can you even rate it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you can rate it.
It has its own.
And when I saw it for the first time too, I didn't realize it was a made-for-TV movie because when I was a kid, Tom Hanks is a movie star, right? Ergo, this is a real movie.
That opening song didn't. Whew.
I was going to say that montage sequence.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's obvious now that I'm older, but like when you're a kid and you're watching, it's like, oh, this is just a movie, you know.
I need that soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh.
You know, it was funny. I was like opening like the Google search thing to see if it could find that music. It couldn't. Like it did not know what that was. It's like, try again. I'm like, I don't think I will.
No, I'm good. I appreciate you.
All right, I'm gonna be controversial and brave and go ahead and give this 2 stars because I do think there's a lot more to. I think it's aged a lot better than people would have expected. I really do. I think there is more substance to this movie than a lot of people give it credit for, Cliff. But that's okay. I want everyone to see it and make up their own mind.
Yes.
That opening song was written by a guy named Hagood Hardy.
Nice.
That's not his real name.
And it was sung by a woman named Judy Lander. She also wrote the lyrics. Hagood Hardy also.
Is she one of the Lander sisters?
For the record, he also wrote. He worked on Anne of Green Gables. So there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Marty. Are you gonna split the baby here?
I would really like to hear Jeremy Black either defend or prosecute this film. That would be amazing.
That would be so great.
This is the first for the show. Both movies I'm giving half.
Really? A half? Even though as much as Cliff was shitting on this, he gave it 1.
The other film, you gotta watch this because it's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle.
I sat there like this with my hand on my head for like 2 minutes after it was over in silence.
Yeah.
So, I have to
Holy
process this now.
Yeah. Oh,
That sticks with you though. So I give it a half, but it's both movies today are beyond ratings. They're like living, breathing entities that you must watch if you like film, or if you don't like film.
Mazes and Monsters is like being like surprising a skunk. You're gonna get sprayed, and no matter how much you scrub, it's not coming off. It's just it's gonna be there for a while, and eventually it's just gonna have to let it wear off.
I like your line earlier about the whole thing's a giant line of shit or something. I'm like, that's the line to open the show with. Right? No, it was fun.
I mean, I agree with you about Mazes and Monsters sticking with you. That's just why I brought it up, because, like I said, I saw it on a random afternoon once, and it just stuck with me.
No, I hear you.
And then
I hear you.
I wanted to talk about it, and I can't believe Marty rated it lower than you, Cliff, for all you crapped out from such a great height. Come on, Marty, bump it up to 1 star, damn it.
Maybe on the end of the season review I might, but just all that dark rock climbing in the middle really killed it for me, where it was just like the movie just stopped. It's like, oh man,
no, that's fair.
I need the Blu-ray. Obviously, I need to see it.
I know. You know what though? Like, your ratings for both films are very justified. You know,
you gotta watch them this week.
They
are very justifiable ratings for sure.
It is. Yeah, I would highly recommend that you put these two on as like a Christmas double feature, and just dig in.
Disappointed.
You won't be disappointed. Get the cocoa and the cookies and dig in. This thing's gonna be quite an experience.
Now, Mazes and Monster does ask a bit more from you than Mixed Nuts does.
True.
That's for sure.
It's true.
So
that's true.
They're not on that same set it and forget it kind of level. If you pay a little more attention to Mazes and Monsters, I think you'll get more out of it. Mixed Nuts, like you said, it's the whole you could get up, use the bathroom, come back, you're fine. You know?
I would put Mixed Nuts on first, just to get warmed up, and then dig into Mazes and Monsters. Is why
I like that. I like that.
Next week, your films are Holy Man with Eddie Murphy, and My Bodyguard with Chris McPhee. No,
I feel like I dodged a bullet.
That's not next week. Next week,
talking Figgy Pondo's not so bad, is it?
Next week, we go back into the slums with The Right Stuff and The Empire Strikes Back.
Woohoo!
That's not
well, Dylan. It was a pleasure to have you on, sir.
Well, thank you. And
that was a blast. Yeah.
That was awesome.
If I knew we were actually going to do this, I would have suggested better movies.
In a way, I'm glad you did, because revisiting Mixed Nuts especially is just that lives rent free in my head now. I just can't get a grasp on it.
I know. I think we should watch it again next year, and we don't necessarily have to do a show on it, but we'll just all ping each other and compare notes. When you're on.
Well, I think we definitely need to do another Talking Figgy, but we need to come up with 2 different movies. Maybe Ernest Saves Christmas or something else. You know.
Oh, hey, I love Christmas movies. I love good and bad Christmas specials too. Like, I've seen them
rare
all.
Ones or weird ones. Yeah, just something strange.
I'm going to send you a link to this website, Cliff. Right. It's called The Island of Misfit Christmas Specials, where this guy has a write-up of every single Christmas special and why it turned out to be a dud. It's amazing. I love that site.
Right on. Right on. Okay. Right on.
And we'll pull from there. We'll do like Up on the Housetop.
Click. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here. Anybody got a quote they want to get out of here on?
This is a miracle.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and have a happy New Year.
Don't like it. I hate it. See you guys. Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, like us on YouTube, or give us a 5-star rating on the podcast app of your choice.